Cuomo and Mamdani represent the Democratic Party's ideological divide, for those of you who have not been paying attention, with one candidate, Mamdani, being a young progressive who identifies as a democratic socialist, and the other, obviously Cuomo, who's an older moderate from a legacy political family. And there are some who fear the direction of the party is headed with this, where the party is headed with this shift in New York. They should be worried. They should be worried. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like, not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance.
It is time for everyone to hear what, Van Lathan told us once upon a time.
I want to say something to you guys. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to none of that.
Because here Stephen A. Smith goes yet again talking out of his behind.
You have no chance on a national basis in terms of the presidency. In Senate seats in the House, you have no chance. You have no chance. I want to be very, very clear about that. You might have a Democratic socialist sprinkled here and there, but that ain't what America is. America's about capitalism. America's about dollars and cents. America's about an economy, a flourishing economy. Okay? And you know what it's not about? Free stuff. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it. Somebody got to say it, so I'm going to say it.
Brother, who is not saying this? Just a heads up. This guy is worth almost $100 million, and he just got another humongous contract from ESPN. Understand all of this when he rails on Zohran Mamdani's agenda.
Let me tell y'all something right now. When I tell you that Mamdani's agenda, freezing the rent, so your price can't elevate, right? Fast, fare-free buses. Nothing wrong with the Department for Community Safety. No cost childcare. Free childcare. Free. 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 Okay? This is what he's saying now. Okay? City-owned grocery stores. Now, y'all know when stuff is handled by the bureaucrats, it's one thing for them to be involved. It's one thing for them to have regulations to making sure they look out for the modern, everyday American citizen. But it's another thing entirely where you the one running it. You're the one running it. Every city in the United States of America, at least it feels this way, is in debt. Don't know how to handle a bank account to save their damn lives. Cracking down on bad landlords. We all for that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers. Fine. Mamdani, can you take advice from your boy Stephen A? Can you take a little advice, please? Why didn't you just take free buses, no-cost child care, and rent freezes and put them on the category of taxes on big corporations and the wealthiest New Yorkers? Why didn't you just lump it all under that one category? It wouldn't look as bad. Because guess what? Nothing's free. Everybody got to pay something. There's no way in hell it's free. You think the bus driver's going to drive for free? You think the train conductor's going to drive for free?
I think we must understand something about this man. He has, objectively speaking, no idea what he is talking about.
Stephen A. Smith is a quintessential example of the difference between being influential and being known. Right? Stephen A. Smith is a very well-known person. When he speaks, people pay attention. He has no real influence. I want to make that clear. He has no real influence in politics. He desperately wants to have influence in politics. He desperately wants to be considered amongst the same spaces as a Roland Martin or a Bakari Sellers or an Angela Rye or a Tiffany Cross or Abby Phillips. He wants to be in that category. He wants to think that he can actually move the needle. And he is being platformed, unfortunately, by a lot of less than informed journalists who are bored and looking for someone who's making loud noises. But let us be clear about who and what he is at this particular point, which is just a loudmouth person who is desperate to be put into different spaces.
A fair point by Johnson. More.
You know good and well I wouldn't vote for Mamdani. I wouldn't vote for AOC. I don't like the way Jasmine Crockett is talking. I don't think that helps the Democratic Party.
All right, I have a last question.
I don't like
Exit
that.
question.
Oh, yes. Yes. And on that very topic of Stephen A. Smith going at Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
The reason why I said maybe y'all need to have a campaign to turn him off is because there's 20 pages of black men saying what the hell is wrong with Stephen A. Smith. Y'all are pushing back on him. Instead of us arguing and making posts, you can just tell people, if you're not feeling it, turn it off.
Right.
I think the posture that we have to take, to your point, Joy, in Trump's America, we have to take the posture that if these corporations are going to align themselves either by having people who look like us or not, who are spewing misinformation about, various people, whether it be you, Joy, who's been on the other end of this, or myself or others, and if they are supporting things like the anti-DEI movement, we need to stop arguing and getting ourselves upset. All we need to do is turn it off or take our money, put it back in our pocket and say, just don't worry about us. You don't think we're being effective, then we don't have to
leave us alone.
To capitulate, to work with people who have literally designed, these people have a Project 2025 design of document that talks about putting Black people back in our place, which to them is to reduce and diminish our value in this nation. And it is happening in real time. So what it tells me is that either Stephen A. Smith doesn't know what he's talking about and he needs to be educated, and or he does know and he's intentionally spreading misinformation and disinformation, and it just has to be challenged at this point. When we are dealing with authoritarianism, when we're dealing with fascism, when we're dealing with oppression and suppression, we're about to go towards the midterm elections. We cannot have people with the influence that Stephen A. Smith has on TV and other major platforms misinforming our people, telling our people that folks like Jasmine Crockett she's ineffective. How dare you say that?
There were many, and I mean many, who despised his commentary.
As a collective community, I feel we should revoke Stephen A's access to the community, to the culture, is because it became very apparent. It became very apparent to me when I was watching his show that Stephen A. Smith is trying to curate an audience. Who is that audience? It's not.
No, his presidential run is what it is.
It's his presidential run. It's not. I promise you it's not. Matt, how do you know it's not niggas that Stephen A is trying to curate as his fan base? Well, Exhibit A. Can we look at the first screenshot? Yeah, can we look at that screenshot, please? So this is Stephen A's show. It's called Straight Shooter with Stephen A, right? You see the American flag in there, almost a Blue Lives Matter flag. Your fan base, however, the one you're curating, you should invite Steven Crowder. That's a comment on that same video. AI joke Chuck deserve. Whoa, pause. Can we pause really quick? Go back and show that deserve spelling. We have to see that. Deserve. They thought it was funny. We voted for Trump policy. We aren't little. He spelled aren't wrong. I'm pretty sure.
Voted for
we
Trump
aren't
on
little
policy.
sensitive babies about personality quirks. The next thing I'm pretty sure was like policy.
We voted for Trump on policy.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe what the fuck he's saying
At all.
You don't believe it.
Because
Goddamn
the irony is
word.
apparently lost on you that you're condemning Jasmine Crockett for the way in which she goes about XYZ, and you're sitting here in front of the Congress building screaming.
Did you?
The irony's lost on you, Stephen? Okay, then I can't take your dumb ass seriously.
We let our emotions.
You sound a little bit emotional.
We let our emotions
he did sound
to it or whatever it is.
He was talking about, we just gotta like strategize and work and stop.
You're yelling in the
saying
First off, you're from the Bronx. Second of all, you're from
That's not the problem. The problem is we not strategizing.
bro, you understand what it means as a struggle for a black person, bro.